What's going on, everyone? Packer Plug back with another video, and today we're going to be discussing if the Green Bay Packers can win the NFC North against the Detroit Lions, the Minnesota Vikings, and the Chicago Bears. It has been 2 seasons since the Green Bay Packers last won a NFC Championship in 2021, and it's been a long time. Jordan Love hasn't won the NFC North yet. Last time we won was 2021 when we had Aaron Rodgers, his second to last season. And then in 2022, the Minnesota Vikings won that season, and we missed the playoffs when we had Aaron Rodgers. We were one game away. Last game of the season was against the Detroit Lions to get a wild card, and we lost, and Aaron Rodgers was traded away. And then this last season, we made the playoffs off a wild card, but the Detroit Lions won the NFC North with an impressive 12-5 record, as they've been an incredible team over the last 2 seasons. And now they have Jared Goff, and they're a solid team, and they're probably the number one threat to us winning the NFC North. They are a strong team. They've only got better. They're young, just like our team. And do I think Jared Goff's going to go and continue to grow and continue to get better and compete for this NFC North title? Absolutely. I don't see them falling off. They're one game away from the Super Bowl last year. Dan Campbell's phenomenal coach. Questionable calls in that NFC Championship game that could have sent them to the Super Bowl, that they were ahead going into the halftime, and then came back out and just kind of dropped the ball on it. But they're a solid team. They're only going to get better, and they'll probably be our hardest competition going into this season. And if it comes down to the wire, it's going to come down to a game with the Lions, most definitely. When it comes to the Chicago Bears, they're not going to be bad. Do I think they'll be competitive? Absolutely, because for the first time in their history, I think they have a solid quarterback who has solid draft potential, and Caleb Williams is going to come out, and I don't think he's going to be phenomenal. He's still going to be a rookie. Do I think he's going to be the savior? Do I think he's going to be a great quarterback long term? I have no clue. He's a rookie, and I can't say that, but I can say that this is the best draft prospect in terms of a quarterback that the Chicago Bears have had in a long time, maybe even in their whole history. And I think this guy will be a solid starter. Do I think he's going to come out first season and have a year that Jordan Love had last year, or a year that C.J. Stroud had last year as a rookie, or as a first year starting, since Jordan Love wasn't a rookie? But first year starting, maybe not. I think he'll be decent. I think he'll be decent for the rest of the Chicago Bears roster. They've gotten a little better, but they're kind of the same. Will they be competitive for the NFC North title championship? I don't think so. I think there may be a few games back behind the Green Bay Packers and the Detroit Lions, but they'll definitely be competitive as Chicago Bear games and Green Bay Packer games. It's a rivalry game. It's a big rivalry, oldest rivalry in the NFL. Those games are always competitive. But the Packers have just been on the receiving end of winning those games, and I think that'll continue into this next season. As for the Minnesota Vikings, do I think the Minnesota Vikings will be a contender? Absolutely not. I think the Minnesota Vikings are an absolute rebuild. Looks like Sam Darnold will be their quarterback. Losing Kirk Cousins last season, devastating, and then now he's gone from Minnesota, and it looks like you're gonna have Sam Darnold as your quarterback. They just signed a huge contract with one of their wide receivers, so I mean they're looking good. Does it look like they're going in the direction of being NFC North contenders, playoff contenders, Super Bowl contenders? Absolutely not. They're far from it. I think they're going to finish with a pretty mediocre record. I think they're still rebuilding, and they have a lot to figure out over there in Minnesota. But I think they're the furthest thing from the Packers' worry. The biggest thing is, can the Packers win the NFC North? Absolutely. Do I think they'll win the NFC North? Absolutely. I mean, you go to their schedule, and I know a lot of people have the Packers' schedule rated pretty high in terms of difficulty, but you just look at a lot of these games, and if the Packers play up to their potential, a lot of these games they should be winning. Can they beat the Eagles? Yes, it's going to be a tough opening week. Maybe they lose that game, but they're not losing against the Colts. They're not losing against Tennessee. They're not losing against Minnesota. They're not losing against the Rams, in my opinion, even though it might be a competitive game. They're not losing against the Cardinals. Like a lot of these, you look at a lot of these games on the schedule, they're games that are winnable if the Green Bay Packers play up to their potential. If Jordan Love plays well, if this defense has truly improved with Xavier McKinney, and now you have Josh Jacobs. Now you have a running back, 1-2-3 punch that really is going to be, in my opinion, undeniable. And you have Jordan Love, so you got to play honest. You got receivers all over the field that can do just about anything. You have a receiver for everything you need to be able to do. Jacksonville Jaguars, yes. Detroit Lion, competitive game, and that's what it's going to come down to. I think it'll definitely come down to these Detroit Lion games for us to be able to win the North? Can we beat them? Because, I mean, you saw last season on Thanksgiving, we gave it to them, and we whooped them. But you go back to earlier in the season when Detroit came to Lambeau, they whooped us, and it didn't look good. It didn't look good. So, but then again, you saw what happened on Thanksgiving when the Packers played up to their potential. When Jordan Love can play up to his potential, when these receivers can be up there with Jordan Love on his potential, when his defense can click at the right time now that Joe Barry's gone with a new defensive coordinator, the Packers can beat anyone, in my opinion. They can go toe-to-toe with the Super Bowl champ Chiefs, and we did beat the Chiefs last year. You see what happens when we play up to our potential. Chicago Bears, another easy win. San Francisco, that's going to be a tough one. That's going to be a tough one, but it's going to be a rematch. You saw what happened in that playoff game. We were toe-to-toe with them up until that fourth quarter. Jordan Love runs out, throws an interception he shouldn't have thrown. But that's something he's got to learn, and it was his first year starting. I think it'll be another competitive game. I think we're looking at getting revenge. You win that. You win these tough games, playing up to your full potential. You get revenge on San Francisco. You beat the Detroit Lions when you need to beat them, and you beat the Eagles. You beat whoever you need to beat, these tough teams that we played down the stretch. You're beating Minnesota both times, in my opinion. Don't underestimate your opponent, obviously, but Minnesota, I don't see us losing a game to this year. Chicago Bears, rookie Caleb Williams, even though I think it'll be competitive, it'll be interesting because it's the start of a rivalry between Jordan Love and Caleb Williams, I don't see us losing a game to the Chicago Bears. And you close out the season against Minnesota and Chicago, easy wins. You close out against the Saints, you close out against Seattle. Looking at this stretch down the line after the Detroit Lions game in Week 14, Week 15, 16, 17, 18, phenomenal to close out. And if you struggle throughout the season, you need to compete for a wild card instead, phenomenal to close out against these four teams. That's what you want to close out against because they're not phenomenal. They're not super hard. They're not super bad, besides maybe the Minnesota Vikings. Maybe you could say the Saints. Seattle, maybe. They're going to have a new head coach this year. So it's looking good for us. Do I think we can win the North? Go and beat Miami, the 49ers, beat Detroit both times. Yes, I think the Green Bay Packers go win the NFC North. I think it's time. Jordan Love, you got to prove it. Everyone in Green Bay wants you to restore the NFC North title back to Green Bay, so I believe in them. I believe in the Green Bay Packers, and yes, I do believe we can win the NFC North if you're able to execute against those top teams and then just win the games that everyone thinks you're going to win already against the Cardinals, against the Texans, against the Jags, against the Vikings, against whoever. The Indianapolis Colts, they're pretty much going to have a rookie quarterback in Anthony Richardson. So, and then the Eagles game in Brazil, that's going to be another tough one. Go out there and win those games, and you win the NFC North. I guarantee you. Anyways, thank you to everyone for watching this video. Make sure you subscribe, like, check out more videos on the channel. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. It helps us grow so much. We've been growing so much lately, and I'm so thankful. Leave your comments down below. Do you think the Green Bay Packers can win the NFC North title? And if so, what do you think they need to do to win the NFC North title? Let me know in the comments down below. Anyways, Packer Plug. I'm out.